When we're young, we hardly notice how effortlessly we move. Our legs obey, our steps are quick, our body seems to know what to do. But as we age, many begin to notice that our gait becomes heavier, our legs tire more quickly, and we experience swelling or an unpleasant nagging weakness in the evening. And many people think this is how it should be, as if age inevitably takes away our ease of movement. But as a doctor, I want to tell you, this is not a death sentence. In most cases, leg strength declines not because of age, but because our blood vessels, muscles, and nerves are no longer receiving the supply they need. The body is an amazingly intelligent system. It's always trying to recover, but it needs support. And very often it all starts with the most simple thing, the morning meal. It's the morning that sets the rhythm for vascular function, influencing capillary elasticity, muscle tone, circulation, and even how confidently you'll stand by evening. It might seem like breakfast has nothing to do with leg strength, but years of experience show it has everything to do with it. I've seen dozens of patients come to me complaining of heavy legs, weakness, unsteadiness, and nighttime cramps. And almost always, before prescribing tests or medications, we started with two things: morning nutrition and gentle daily activity. And within a few weeks, people would return smiling. "Doctor, my legs feel like they've come back to life." These changes aren't magic. They're physiological. When cells receive nutrients promptly, when blood flows freely, when muscles are engaged, and the nervous system is well nourished, the body responds gratefully. But there's another side to this. Many people don't even notice how congested their blood vessels are. Our lifestyles have become sedentary. Our meals are fast and heavy, and our mornings often start with sweets, coffee on an empty stomach, or sandwiches. As a result, the blood thickens, the blood vessels become sleepy, muscles receive less oxygen, and we feel tired by mid-afternoon. This introduction is important so you understand. It is possible to restore strength to your legs. There's no need for complicated regimens, expensive supplements, or grueling workouts. There are simple steps, warm, gentle, and accessible, that produce real results. And in the following chapters, I'll explain how nutrition, a proper breakfast, nervous system support, and small daily movements can help restore circulation, strengthen muscles, and restore a lighter gait, even after 60 or 70 years. You can feel more confident, more stable, and lighter, and we'll start with the simplest thing: understanding what actually happens to your feet as you age. As a person reaches middle age, their body begins to communicate with them in new ways. The legs become the first place to feel these changes. But it's important to understand, loss of strength in the legs isn't simply a symptom of old age, as patients often say. It's a consequence of very specific processes that can be understood and gently addressed. With age, blood vessels, especially the small capillaries in the legs, gradually lose elasticity. They become slightly denser, dilate less readily, and respond more slowly to changes in load. As a result, blood flow through them is less efficient. Muscles and joints receive less oxygen and nutrients, and they begin to tire more quickly. This manifests as heaviness in the evening, a feeling of fullness in the legs, and sometimes tingling or cramping at night. But blood vessels are only one part of the system. Muscle health is equally important. Leg muscles are our second pump. When we walk, move, and rise on our toes, they actively help push blood up toward the heart. But if a person spends a lot of time sitting, the muscles gradually weaken. They become more sluggish, slower to engage, and lose endurance. That's why, even after a short walk, you feel the urge to sit down. There's another unnoticed but crucial player, the nervous system. It's the nerves that transmit commands to the muscles, controlling every step, every movement of the foot. If the nerve fibers don't receive enough B vitamins, or if their sheaths weaken, signals begin to travel more slowly. A person feels unsteady, as if their legs aren't responding, and their steps become less precise. Sometimes patients tell me, "Doctor, my legs feel like cotton wool." And that's a very accurate description. It's not because of age, it's because the muscles aren't getting enough nutrition, the blood vessels aren't working as hard as they should, and the nerve impulses are slow and uneven. The good news is that the body is always trying to recover. Even at 70, 80 years old, blood vessels can improve their elasticity, muscles can regain their tone, and the nervous system can strengthen its conductivity. It's just necessary to create the right conditions for the body to initiate these processes. The first thing that helps is proper nutrition for blood vessels and muscles. Morning meals are crucial. This is when the blood responds best to nutrients, and the body is more willing to initiate recovery. Secondly, supporting the nervous system is crucial, because without it, you won't be able to take a confident step. And thirdly, gentle, regular activity. Even a few minutes of movement can revive blood flow and restore warmth and lightness to your legs. To restore leg strength, it's important to understand these mechanisms. In the following chapters, we'll detail what you can do as early as tomorrow morning to get your blood flowing more freely, your muscles more active, and your legs working confidently and reliably again. When I tell patients that one of the most powerful tools for leg recovery is ordinary buckwheat, many smile. "Doctor, is it really that simple?" they ask. And I always answer, yes, simplicity is where the power lies. Especially when it comes to blood vessels and muscles. Buckwheat is more than just a side dish. It's a true natural circulatory supplement. It's rich in magnesium, rutin, iron, and plant protein, substances that act as building blocks and gentle regulators for blood vessels. Magnesium relaxes vascular walls, reducing spasms and improving blood flow. Rutin strengthens and makes capillaries more elastic, preventing fragility and congestion. Iron helps the blood carry more oxygen, and protein supports muscles, ensuring they function as a pump. Why is buckwheat especially effective in the morning? After sleep, the body is like a clean slate. It needs fuel, not heavy, fatty fuel that would weigh down your gait, but light and nutritious. Buckwheat provides smooth, stable energy without overloading the stomach or blood vessels. Thanks to this, the blood begins to revive, muscles engage smoothly and gradually, and legs feel lighter from the first hours of the day. I remember one of my patients, a 72-year-old man, who came to me complaining of severe morning leg weakness. He could barely walk across the apartment, often tripped, and by evening his feet were literally burning. During our first consultation, we replaced his usual breakfast of bread and sausage with warm buckwheat with a spoonful of olive oil. A month later, he walked into my office without stopping and said, "Doctor, I feel like my legs are working." And this wasn't a miracle, but rather the body's natural response when it was finally given what it needed. It's important to cook buckwheat properly. To preserve all its vitamins and minerals, it's best not to overcook it. The healthiest option is to soak it overnight in hot water or kefir. This makes the buckwheat slightly crunchy, vibrant, and full of natural nutrients. You can add a little honey, nuts, or berries to create a breakfast that gently nourishes blood vessels, muscles, and even the nervous system. A good sign that buckwheat is starting to work is a feeling of warmth and lightness in the legs by midday. Many note that evening swelling disappears, their legs buzz less, and their gait becomes more confident. This happens because blood flows more freely and muscles receive more oxygen. Even the smallest capillaries, which were previously pinched, are restored. And what's especially nice is that buckwheat is suitable for almost everyone. It doesn't cause sudden blood sugar spikes, doesn't overload the liver, and doesn't leave you feeling heavy. It's exactly the right nutrition for an age when the body appreciates softness, warmth, and natural simplicity. Start your morning with buckwheat for at least 2 weeks in a row, and you'll notice how grateful your legs are. This is the first step toward regaining strength and confidence. But for complete results, it's important to support not only your blood vessels and muscles, but also your nervous system. When we talk about leg strength, many people think only of muscles and blood vessels. But there's another vital system that affects every step: the nervous system. It's the nervous system that sends signals to the muscles to contract, maintain balance, adjust the angle of the foot, and make a more precise or softer stride. If the nerve fibers aren't receiving enough nutrition, the legs may be strong but unresponsive. Steps become uneven, movements are slow, and a feeling of limpness or instability develops. That's why I consider eggs to be the second key food for foot health. They're simple, affordable, yet incredibly rich in what the nervous system needs: B vitamins, choline, lecithin, and amino acids. These nutrients literally restore the sheath of nerve fibers and speed up the transmission of impulses. You could say eggs are the lubricant for nerve conduction. Choline, found in egg yolks, plays a special role. It helps form the myelin sheath, a protective layer that ensures the speed and precision of nerve signals. When this layer becomes thin, people begin to stumble, lose balance, and forget the order of movements. I've often observed people remarking, "Doctor, my legs feel better now," after 2 weeks of regular egg consumption. I remember a 66-year-old woman, a teacher, who came to me complaining of feeling unsteady in the mornings. Her legs wouldn't move, her head was foggy. We kept buckwheat in her diet, but added 2 eggs to her breakfast, sometimes hard-boiled, sometimes as a soft omelet with herbs. 3 weeks later, she said something I still remember. "I feel like electricity is running through my legs." Her gait became smoother, her coordination improved, and she felt calmer. But the benefits of eggs aren't limited to the nervous system. They contain vitamin D, which helps strengthen bones and improves muscle and joint function. Many people over 60 begin to lose their balance precisely because of a vitamin D deficiency, and often without even realizing it. Regularly eating eggs helps gently replenish this deficiency. Eggs are easy to incorporate into your morning diet. You can soft boil them, make a quick omelet with herbs, or add them to warm buckwheat. The only important thing is to eat them regularly. The nervous system thrives on consistency. It doesn't respond to one-time meals, but responds gratefully when nourished day after day. The first signs that the eggs are helping are the disappearance of morning sluggishness, improved coordination, and a feeling of confidence when walking. People begin to feel like their legs are back under control and that their body and brain are working in sync. And this is a key factor in preventing falls, which are so dangerous in older age. Legs aren't just muscles. They're a complex system of signals, commands, and feedback. And eggs are one of the simplest and most effective ways to help it function smoothly and efficiently. When people start eating right, adding healthy foods to their morning routine, and gradually experience initial improvements, they often ask, "Doctor, why do my legs still get weak from time to time?" And very often the answer lies not in their diet, but in their lifestyle, or more precisely, in their becoming too sedentary. Today, we live in an era where we can spend an entire day barely leaving our chairs. Eating, watching the news, calling our children, and taking care of everyday issues, all of this can now be done without leaving our chairs. But for the body, this is stressful. We are designed in such a way that movement is not just an activity, but a natural necessity. Blood needs to flow, muscles need to work, joints need to be lubricated, and lungs need air. When movement is insufficient, all systems are disrupted. Even the healthiest breakfast can't compensate for 8–10 hours of sitting. When a person sits for long periods, blood begins to stagnate in the legs. Blood vessels lose tone, muscles seem to fall asleep, and joints become less flexible. Therefore, when we stand up after sitting for a long time, we feel heaviness, stiffness, or uncertainty in our steps. If this happens daily, a gradual sensation of weakness in the legs develops. I remember a patient of mine, a 74-year-old man, who once said, "Doctor, I've been doing everything you said. I'm eating buckwheat and adding eggs, but my legs still aren't working." And when we analyzed his day, it turned out he'd been spending almost 10 hours in a chair, reading in the morning, watching TV after lunch, and then sitting again in the evening. His body had simply forgotten how to be alive. We started small. I asked him to get up every 30–40 minutes and walk for at least 2 or 3 minutes. A month later, he came back with a look of surprise on his face. "I think I can feel my legs again." You don't need to exercise to benefit from movement. A few simple steps are enough. Take a short walk around the house or yard every 30–60 minutes. Calf raises. They activate the muscles that help the blood rise. Warm wave in the morning. Pull your socks up and down 20–30 times without getting out of bed. Circular movements with your feet, 10 in one direction and 10 in the other. These exercises take less than a minute, but they get your blood flowing all day long. The best indication that this is enough is the warmth in your feet, the lightness of your first steps, and the reduction in evening fatigue. Movement nourishes blood vessels and muscles, just like buckwheat and eggs. When you combine a proper breakfast with regular light activity, your body begins to function more harmoniously. Blood flows more freely, muscles awaken, and the nervous system receives more oxygen and functions more efficiently. The most important thing is to do this daily, without fanaticism, but regularly. It's as if you're reminding your body every day, "I'm alive, I want to move forward." And your body responds with gratitude. When it comes to foot health, many people expect complex plans, special medications, or expensive procedures. But over the years, I've realized that the most effective steps are simple, regular, and self-loving. If you've read this far, you've already taken the first and most important step: mindfulness. Let's once again recall the 3 main pillars on which leg health is based. The first is vascular nutrition, meaning a proper morning start. Buckwheat provides the body with a natural complex of vitamins, minerals, and gentle energy, improves blood flow, and literally wakes up the blood vessels. It doesn't cause sudden blood sugar spikes, doesn't overload digestion, and provides a smooth, calm feeling of strength. This is a product that works gently but reliably, especially with regular use. The second is nervous system support. Eggs help improve the transmission of nerve impulses, resulting in better muscle control, more confident steps, and more precise coordination. They seemingly restore the connection between the brain and the legs, and this connection is more important than it seems at first glance. It determines stability, balance, and safety when walking. The third is activity, however small but daily. Movement gets the blood flowing, warms up the muscles, loosens the joints, and restores the body's natural rhythm. Even a simple walk around the apartment, some toe raises, or a light morning breakdown of the feet creates a powerful boost for recovery. You don't need a lot of strength. You just need presence and focus. When these 3 elements begin to work together, the body responds very quickly. Your feet become warmer, your gait becomes more confident, evening swelling disappears, sleep improves, and morning movements become easier. And most importantly, you regain the feeling of being in control of your body, not the other way around. This feeling is incredibly important at any age because it strengthens not only your muscles, but also your inner state. I often tell my patients, leg health isn't just a physiological issue, it's a reflection of how a person lives their life. Strong legs provide a sense of support, stability, and inner peace. When they feel confident, a person becomes more confident in their steps, plans, and capabilities. In conclusion, I'd like to offer you a short morning ritual that takes only a minute but helps gently and harmoniously activate your body. Sit comfortably, close your eyes. Take a deep breath through your nose, counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for a couple of seconds, and slowly exhale through your mouth. Repeat 5 times. This calms the nervous system, improves blood flow, and helps the body wake up without sudden pressure surges. Now that you've read this far, do one simple thing. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, remember this text. Stretch, move your feet a few times, smile, and say to yourself, "Today I'm taking a step toward health." Cook a bowl of buckwheat, add 2 eggs, and eat it slowly. Then walk around the room or yard, just a couple of minutes, and you'll feel your body respond.